advisory and financial planning services are offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. SEC registration does not constitute nor endorse of the firm, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill nor ability. Investing involves risk of loss. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through Diamond Life Planning is a separate and unaffiliated entity from Simplicity Wealth. This information is provided as a general information that is not intended to be specific financial guidance. Before you make any decisions regarding your personal financial situation, you should consult a financial or tax professional to discuss your individual circumstances and objectives.
Welcome to the Rock My Finances show on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV, where we put the fun in finance. Join Powerhouse Jennifer Jose, CDFA, CMC, and Private Wealth Advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros, so what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Jose.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. I'm so glad you're sticking with me on this. I really am hoping your life's going differently, better, changing for the better, of course, because we've got lots of information on this podcast. We've got lots of different episodes. I'm glad you're here. Today might be a little bit of a scary one for you, but please stick it out. I promise you you'll feel good in the end. The hidden trauma behind your money decisions. I know we just think money's money, it's numbers, it's math, it controls us, it is what it is. But I can tell you that we are making decisions based on our past experiences. And if you've ever experienced trauma, and I know there's a lot of people that don't relate to that word, but let's just say chaos or dysfunction. I think that's 90% of the country, right? But you might not think it's you. So hang on, and maybe you recognize somebody in this episode. Have you ever wondered why two people can have the exact same income, the exact same financial advice, maybe from the same financial person, and completely different financial outcomes? I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? And sometimes some people aren't even like the best of people as what we think, right? They're might not be kind. Like we just don't know. So one person invests confidently while the other person keeps in a savings account. One person freely spends no problem while the other person feels like guilty buying like a cup of coffee, basically. One asks for a raise while the other one believes they really just don't deserve one. So we often assume the difference is financial knowledge. And that's what, all the media and everything out there would like us to believe, is that we don't know enough. They want to keep us scared and they want to keep us insecure around money. I don't believe that. My clients are extremely empowered and extremely confident. And do they absolutely need me? I mean, I could say not necessarily, and they want me to help them make these financial decisions for the rest of their life. So yes, we can absolutely be empowered around it. But years of coaching to people around money, I've learned that it's usually way deeper than just knowing what a rate of return is, what a standard deviation is, where to invest, how to invest, all that. Money is emotional. Yes, it is. Sorry. So before we've ever learned to balance a checkbook, remember that in school? Did you guys ever have to write a book? I had to write a check. I had to learn how to write a check. That's it. That's all I learned. And way before we learned about what the stock market is or investing or how to create a spending plan, I don't call it a budget because that's restrictive. I create spending plans for my clients. So we were already learning something far more powerful. We were learning what money actually means. So as children, we absorb messages without even realizing it. We watch our parents, we listen to conversations, and we notice stress. We notice energy. We notice anger and frustration. We notice silence, right? My mom would get mad and just be silent. We notice withdrawing. We notice arguments. We notice fear. Those experiences become the foundation of our relationships and our relationships with money. Did you know you have a relationship with money? Yeah, you do. And you should get out your money journal right now. Maybe you grew up hearing, we can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Every day you might hear something. Even if our family eventually became very successful and a part that you may even still believe there's never enough because of these foundation statements that we grew up hearing. Maybe your parents argued every time money came up or spending came up. Today, you avoid conversations because somewhere deep inside you, you've connected money with arguments or conflict. Maybe you put in your little child body that your parents divorced over money. That might not even be true, but that is in your body. So that means that's part of your money story, and that's helping you create decisions today. Maybe one of your parents controlled all the finances as an adult, and either you avoid money because it completely feels overwhelming, or you feel the need to control every dollar because that's what safety looked like. Maybe your family suddenly lost a job, a business failure, or even a divorce. And even decades later, you might be struggling with, who do I trust? How if I build something, it's not going to disappear. So you might not even trust your spouse or your financial advisor, or not even have one. Maybe money was used to manipulate, reward, punish, control. Now, I did that when my dad would screw up completely. My mom would go buy me stuff, not expensive things because we were always frugal, but it would be like a sweater or a sweatshirt or a jacket or something. I even got a leather coat one time. So that was rewarding me for my dad's bad behavior. Like, how does that even make sense, right? If that's what you experienced, it's understandable that money today feels very emotionally charged. And rather than just simply 2 plus 2 is 4, or what you make, what you spend, the rest is yours to save, it's not as easy as that. So this is what I want you to hear. These experiences are not your fault. They're not. They're actually experiences that are locked inside your subconscious, your muscle memory in your body. So it's our work to figure this out. It's not your fault. And they still may be influencing your money decisions today. Many of us are making adult decisions with beliefs formed as an 8-year-old. Like, there's this one story that we talked to this little boy, or a man now, right? Because I do money coaching as well. So I take people through their childhoods and who influenced them growing up and all that. So there's this one client that said that he always loved to live by water. He always had to live by water, and he was always being able to see water coming out through his living room window. And he was always thinking that owning a boat brought wealth. So we tracked that back, and what it was he wanted a red bike. And his mom would always say, we have to wait till your dad's ship comes in. So he would always sit out the living room window and look at the water and wait for ships to arrive because he thought that would bring money to buy his red bike. He had no idea that that thought was locked in his brain as a subconscious thought that money equals boats equal money. Isn't that interesting? I find that so interesting. He was amazing. Business owner, actually doubled his income after he coached with me for a little while, but can't guarantee any of that. So don't even think about it. Okay. Your brain is actually trying to protect you. So we know exactly what we should do when we're in a struggle because our emotions are pulling us in different directions and we get confused, right? But our brain's just trying to protect us. It remembers the pain from childhood, so it doesn't want you to go back to that pain. The problem is our brains cannot distinguish between what happened years ago and what's happening today. It also can't distinguish between a thought that we had years ago and the actual thing because your dad's ship come in, that thought was money comes in on boats. That was a thought that the child created that he kept into adulthood. When in actuality, that just meant we were waiting for his dad's big check or a big commission check or a big job or whatever it might be, right? So thoughts are not always accurate, but they create our reality. If you grew up in uncertainty, your brain may still seek certainty at all costs. It wants to feel safe, right? If you grew up with scarcity, money doesn't grow on trees, all that stuff, your brain may still believe there's never enough. So I have some clients that believe that if somebody else is making money, they cannot make the same amount of money. So they actually resent wealthy people. So then their brain starts making up that wealthy people are all bad. Then they start making up that everyone's greedy and out for themselves, and then they'll never make money in their life. These people either, become just proud of themselves for not making money. So it's And it's really just not about that. Those are childhood thoughts that created the circumstance they're in now. If you grew up believing your worth depended on achievement, like mine did, you may tie your self-worth to net income, which I did. I believed myself because I always got attention when I did something good, successful, grades, made money, got a good job. It was never about who I was as a person. It was about what I accomplished and what I did. So my self-worth was tied up to doing well, which of course in sales, I crushed it because I had to in order to have a good self-worth. So when I got my amazing coach, Mayvu, she was amazing. She helped me realize that my self-worth was tied into what people think about me because of status, success, money, relationships, whatever it might be. When actuality, self-worth is deep. It's internal. It's a belief that you are valuable simply because you breathe, you exist, you live. It is not because what you earn, achieve, what you own, what you look like. That's a big one these days with social media, or how other people treat you. It has nothing to do with other people. Self-worth is very different than self-esteem. So self-esteem is how you feel about your abilities or your performance and how it can go up or down depending on your success or your failure. Self-worth is your belief that you have inherent value regardless of your accomplishments or circumstances. So self-worth doesn't have anything to do with the outside. It's how I feel. For an example, someone with healthy self-worth might think, I made a mistake, but that doesn't make me a failure. I'm going to learn from it. Someone whose self-worth is tied to external things would say, I lost money in the market. I am so bad with money. And if you tell yourself that over and over and over again, you're thinking that you can't do anything with money. I have so many clients come to me that they just think they're terrible with money. And all we do is educate, show up our self-esteem, find out why our self-worth is crushed, fix all that, at least on the path to fixing that, and their money changes. Always, it just always changes. So then it's becoming, I'm on the road to learning what I need to learn to make sure that I feel safe with my money, right? It's great. So the question begins, how do we begin changing that? First, coaching step is awareness. So the next time you feel anxious about money, don't immediately ask, what's wrong with my finances? We're going to change that. Instead, what story am I telling myself right now? Is this story that there's never enough? Is this story that I'm going to lose everything? Is this story that I don't deserve success? I had this thought. I thought, as some of you may know my story or not, but I lost 2 children 33 years ago, actually. And I had a belief in my subconscious that I did not deserve love, happiness, or wealth. I did not deserve that because I did not save my children. I did not protect them. I didn't know I had that belief until I got my amazing coach, right? She found that belief. Within 3 days, my life changed drastically. I just found that belief, breathed into it, got rid of it, did some journaling, did some exercises, done with that belief, and my money life completely improved. So we have to find what's out there first. What's there first? Why are we feeling anxious about money? So what story am I telling myself right now? Is it that money creates conflict? This is where the healing begins, is awareness. Right? Awareness. So a money story is the collection of beliefs, emotions, experiences, and messages that we've absorbed about money throughout our life. It's not your fault. It is the invisible script that influences how you earn, spend, save, give, and think about your wealth, your money. Often without even realizing it, everyone has a money story. So your money story begins in childhood, long before you understood budgets or investing or saving or anything. anything before you learned, money's hard to earn. You might have earned money is hard to earn. There's never enough. Rich people are greedy. You have to work hard for every dollar. My household was work hard, earn money. We work 7 days a week, 365 days a year, no vacations, no nothing, because we were business owners. And I just thought that's the way it was. It's selfish to spend money on yourself. I have a lot of women clients come to me on that. Debt is normal. I don't have too many of that. Talking about money is rude. I do hear that a lot, which I want to dismay that myth. Women need to talk about money. We need to understand what other people are going through, what they're feeling, what they're making. We never even talk about what we make. So everybody that comes to me feels like they don't make enough. They're not doing enough. They don't know enough because they don't realize they're average, just like everybody else, because we were taught not to talk about money and politics and religion, right? Change that. Talk about money. Get your friends, get a group together that want to do better with their money. Talk about it, share it, get those embarrassing things out so that we can get rid of it, dismay all those myths. We also might be thinking success means having expensive things. That is absolutely not true. If I've made money, people might expect something from me. That is a lot. And if you make millions, they are going to, and that's okay. When we make more, we will have different problems. It's okay. We can handle them all. Some of these messages come from words. Some of them come from past experiences. So we need to find out, number one, awareness. What is my money story telling me now? What am I thinking now? Second thing is curiosity. Instead of criticizing yourself for financial bad habits, let's be curious about them. Where did I first learn how to do this? Or where did I first learn money doesn't grow on trees? Or where did I first learn work hard, make money? Now, when I look back at that, of course, my parents were broke. Like they were so broke until the 70s. And so work hard, make money was all they knew how to do. So when I learned that that was their emotional thoughts around money and that was their money story, it does not need to be mine. So when I started taking care of myself, looking inward, doing coaching, therapy, all of that, I worked less and made more. So work hard, make money was not true for me anymore. So I got to redo that myth, right? So this week, I encourage you to spend a few minutes journaling about your money story. And you should have a money journal. Shoulda, woulda, couldas. I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to should you. You could, if you so choose, to get a money journal and to go through all my episodes and do all the wonderful homework. So journaling about your money story, write it down, your earliest memory of money. And what did you hear your parents or caregivers or adults say? When did they, how did they handle money? When did they handle money? What were they saying when they handled money? Did they argue about it? Did they avoid talking about it? Did they say, save every penny or spend freely? Or were they worrying constantly? I had a client whose mom always did the bills, and she would just be so stressed out every time she did the bills. She had no idea she was giving off this energy to her kids. She did not do anything on purpose. This is not here to beat up parents, y'all. I'm a parent and you can beat me up. I know that. But that's not about that. That's just about your parents' reality in the moment when they were doing the best they could. All of our adults in our lives have done the best they could. No one ever wants to hurt us or wound us. So we all know that. We're not trying to beat them up or anything like that. We just have to be aware of the fact that that's their money story, not mine. I'm not choosing to put that on, right? So I'm going to change that, right? So I want to encourage you to think about that. Where did it come from? Those experiences, how did they make you feel as a child? The F word, my favorite F word, feel. Did you feel safe? Did you feel anxious? Did you feel ashamed or guilty? Did you feel fearful? Pull up the emotional scale, or you can Google it. You can, whatever you use, just say emotional scale, and it's going to give you all the emotions in the book. So if you don't know all your emotions, look at that. It's a great learning tool. How did I really feel when my mom would buy me the leather jacket? How did I feel? Well, I felt guilty because it had nothing to do with me and it was fake. And so now to this day, I have to have somebody know me in order for me to accept a compliment. If they just are giving me a compliment, it doesn't mean anything to me because they don't know who I am. So you can imagine how that affects my dating life because you don't know anybody in the beginning, right? It takes a while for people to get to know you. For me to be able to really feel someone cares about me, they got to really know me. So that's just one of my things. And I know that comes from childhood. The feelings often become our foundation around our adult behaviors. It could be financial, it could be relationship, it could be work, it could be anything. So we're going to ask ourselves, is this belief still serving me today? Does it help me? Is it more of what I'm believing or someone else? So if the answer is no, write a new belief that does reflect the person who you want to become. So money doesn't grow, work hard, make money was the thought, right? So then I had to change that belief to money is coming to me easily and effortlessly daily. That's what I had to change that belief to. We have to find those hidden beliefs. I hope that makes sense. So remember, awareness is the first step. And the second step is rewriting your money story. So we have to be intentionally being conscious of how we're feeling in the moment when we're making decisions. So this sometimes is a lot of work for someone who isn't like me. I was like so busy. I had so many things on my calendar, so many people to talk to, just stayed busy. I had no idea what I was feeling or thinking and how that was tied to anything because I was just so busy. So I had to slow down, start saying no. As Oprah tells us, no is a complete answer. We do not need to explain anything to anyone. Sorry, that doesn't work for me. Thank you for the invite, but I'll have to pass this time. Hope you have a blast. I don't need to give a reason for anything that I do. So no is a complete answer. So I needed to step back, take more time for myself, get to know myself more, spend some more quiet time, journaling, music. It was difficult for me to do quiet time in the beginning. So I had a lot of music, a lot of TV around, whatever it takes to get you to go inward. We have to figure that out. And it's a step-by-step process, right? So we're going to go inward. The third step is to separate facts from feelings. For example, if your investments are down this month, that's a fact. The story that you're telling yourself is everything will never recover. That's a feeling. I'm going to lose everything. That's a feeling. Okay, so first step is awareness. Second step is that your belief still, or do you need to create a new belief? So now my new belief is money is coming to me easily and effortlessly daily. Now I need to look at, is that when something happens, is that a feeling that I'm worried? So when the market goes down or I don't get the interest I thought or whatever it is, it could even be in a relationship, right? If someone's mean to me or doesn't answer my text back or whatever, is that a thought, a fact, or a feeling? So is that true that they don't like me because they didn't answer my text back? No, that is not a fact. That is a feeling of abandonment. So then we go back to, okay, that's me. That has nothing to do with the market. It's nothing to do with someone else. That's all me. Does that make sense? So learning to separate facts from emotional stories that we're telling ourselves is one of the healthiest financial habits that you can develop. Also for relationships, everything, how we feel about one thing is how we feel about everything. So when you feel about your money one way or a relationship one way or job one way or somebody at work one way, everything is all tied together. So when we look at one thing, most of the time, other things improve in our lives, which is very exciting. So that is learning fact from our emotional story that are telling ourselves. So finally, ask yourself, if I weren't afraid, what would my wisest self do next? Not the perfect step and not the biggest step and not the final step, just the next best step. Maybe it's reviewing your spending plan. Maybe it's talking to a financial advisor. Maybe it's increasing your savings. Maybe it's only going to Starbucks once a month on a treat. Maybe it's not making a financial decision for 24 hours. It could be any of those. Remember, feeling deserving to be acknowledged, but they don't deserve all of your financial decisions. So feelings are different, right? The more you learn to separate fact from feeling, the more you're going to respond with wisdom instead of fear in all of your decisions. So the fourth coaching step and the last one, I challenge you, inherited beliefs. Ask yourself, is this belief actually true? Is it something that I want? did I learn growing up, or am I going to keep it? So now you're going to create all your new money beliefs. I hope you enjoyed today's. We're going to go over all your homework today, right? Number 1, awareness. Number 1, what am I actually telling myself right now? Number 2, is that something that came from childhood? Work hard, make money. Is that my childhood, or is that something real for me? So we're going to excavate underneath our true beliefs that we're holding. Number 3, we're going to ask ourselves, is that a fact or a feeling? Fact or feeling? And number 4, we're going to create all of our new money beliefs. Put them on the refrigerator, put them on your phone, put them on your dash of your car, wherever you spend time, put them on your bathroom mirror. I have lots of little Post-its on my bathroom mirror a lot of times when I'm going through personal growth phases. And then you are going to walk away with a better relationship with money. I promise you, it will be different. It will change, and it'll feel so much better. And then other things will improve in your life. I want you to be able to do these steps, and I want you to be able to walk away and say, I rock my finances.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. It's not about the zero, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.